Andre Fernandez in the Velosa Motorsport 917. So he's done a best in Sector 1. And a purple in Sector 2, a 32.903. So that is quicker than our current provisional pole sitter, Kenny Leonov, in Sector 2. But can he hold it together to improve in the final sector of this lap? Currently in 4th place, looking to 1.6 seconds back last time around, but surely he's going to close that gap in. But 1.6 would be an awful lot to find. 3.5 minutes remaining of this session. We're looking at in car 912, also looking to improve. Lennart Hemstra is into the pits, so he is clearly done for this qualifying sessions. Also Tobias Vasquez also into the pits as well. But we've got all bar half a dozen cars currently out on track, all looking to improve. I've got one eye on Andre Fernandez, car 917, as he completes the final part of the lap. He doesn't improve, but he improves, but it doesn't move up any positions. He's closed the gap up to 0.493, so he's halved the gap between Leonov and second place. Andre Fernandez, up into second place. He demotes Marabi Mekbabishvili down to P3 as we once again look at Lee Mole. For Team Parker Racing, he's also pushing hard to improve in the number 56 car. Currently, he's in 11th place. He's done a personal best in Sector 1, but not so in Sectors 2 and 3. AJITH Kumar, we haven't mentioned him for a few minutes. I should be good for heckling in the number 28 car. Currently in 19th place at the moment. He's with Red Ant Race with AJITH Kumar Racing. And very much learning the ropes here in this first qualifying session, expecting him to get quicker and quicker as things proceed in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. There once again is Lee Mole, still pushing hard, but now only 2 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. Everybody gunning for Evgeny Leonov, but the closest anyone can get at the moment, Fernandez, the number 917, he's into the pits now, so he's clearly done for this qualifying session. Marabi Mekbabishvili is still out on track. Leonov is also out on track. And Will's also out on track as well. But in that 4th place, quickest of the GT4 drivers, just bumping up a few positions. Patrick Cunard, job from him, up into 16th place overall and leading the way in the GT4 cars. And that is very impressive and getting some very quick machinery. That is David Harrison. Autotech, the legendary team. That is the car that is quickest of all, still out there, still looking to improve. Evgeny Leonov. So now Andre Fernandez climbs from his car, removes his helmet. Looks like he is done for this qualifying session. We're into the final minute, as with the previous session. Once the clock strikes 0, any drivers that are on a lap already will be able to complete those, and they will count. But everybody else, the laps will not count. We've got a few personal bests popping up, but nobody making any improvements enough to close in on the fastest time of all. So it is, at the moment, Evgeny Leonov, the 144.307, a very quick time, only, just over 3.5 tenths slower than the quickest of the sport division. So I believe Piers has got some news for us. He's down in the pit lane. Down to you, Piers.
Yeah, Andre Fernandez has jumped out of the car, of course, second place. He's decided that's the best he can do. I thought I could grab a quick word with Andre. He's just having a word with his engineer at the moment. Doing a great job, of course, with the team. But Andre, happy to have a quick interview in English?
Yes.
Brilliant. Great qualifying session for yourself. Second place.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It's tough for Portimão. It's very up and down, you know, but I try to deliver the best and make the team proud anyway. But the car is great, you know, I love the circuit. And, you know, it can be a little bit more, but, you know, it is. You're never happy if you're not in first.
There's always more, isn't there, Andre?
Always more.
Always more. Second place, good opportunity for a good result in the race, though.
What I'm saying?
Sorry, good opportunity for a good result in the race.
Yes, I hope I can deliver lap up the lap, you know. I'm here to practice, you know, but let's see what's going to happen in the race. Clean race is the most important. And be happy in the end of the day.
We look forward to that. Andre, congratulations on a good qualifying session. Brian, back to you for the final laps.
Great stuff. Thank you, Piers. Yes, enjoy it at the end of the day. Great stuff. And good to hear from Andre. Thank you for that. Well, P2 is as good as it's going to get for Andre. The checkered flag is out. The cars are now crossing the line. Our pole sitter with an astonishing 144.307, Evgeny Leonov from Volcano Motorsport. Veloso Motorsport in second place with the aforementioned Andre Fernandez at 144.80. Those are the only two cars to make it into the 44s. In third place, Marabi Mekvabishvili. He's been looking quick all along, and he with a 145.141. That's about 8/10 down on pole position. Fastest of the GT4 cars, Patrick Kunar. That's a great job from him. 148.269, but very competitive against cars that are much quicker around him. So he is the leading GT4 car. And then second in the GT4s, Kasper Hockerboom, and then David Von Rosen third in the GT4. So great qualifying session for the club division. That is for rounds 1 and 2 of their races, which come later on this afternoon. So qualifying is done and dusted for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe rounds 1 and 2. Great to have some spectators here on the bank, and I know they're listening to the commentary that's going out on stream and on the television, so we say good afternoon to you. Stay warm, keep the gloves on, but sure you are being entertained. If you've never seen Porsche racing, Porsche Sprint Challenge or Porsche Carrera Cup live, I would strongly encourage you to get to a circuit. There is nothing like it. Live, they are spectacular. When this lot take off, it's deafening, it's fast, it's amazing. This is why we love everything Porsche, and it's so good at this part of the year to have Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. When the rest of the world sleeps, we get racing, and of course taking advantage of what in theory is favourable weather conditions in Portugal and Spain. Certainly better chance of it than you have in the UK, which is just cold and wet all the time. So really good to be able to get some racing in, and a lot of drivers using this as an opportunity to get up to speed, ready for the 2025 season. And of course this track, which has a famous track, which has seen so much good racing over the years, is a perfect venue to do it. And then we will head to Estoril, Valencia and Barcelona. All 4 tracks have hosted Formula One, and all great tracks, and a series, Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, which is growing and growing year on year. And this year, it is getting harder and harder to call who is going to be champion. Last year, it was very much a shootout between Ariel Levy, Alex Tauscher. Last year, Sasha Norden was in there as well, but it went the way of Ariel Levy in the sport division. In the club division, it was Robert Sulmer who won overall, and Graham King who won in the GT4 category. Sadly, neither Robert nor Graham are here to defend their championships this year, but plenty of talent ready to get their names on that trophy. And as I mentioned before, across the 2 categories, nearly 50 Porsches gathered. It is a celebration of all things Porsche. We absolutely love it. And really a wonderful circuit, a wonderful setting, in theory what should be wonderful weather, but we have got one eye to the sky. One eye to the sky. We haven't had any running in the wet here during testing or free practice. So when the racing comes later on today, this could be something very exciting. And just to give you the timetable on this, race 1 for the sport division is due to be starting at 13:25 local time. So that's the same as UK time if you're watching in the UK. So in about an hour and a half, we will be up and running with the first race for the sport division. First race of the club division will commence at about 2:30 local time. Great that we've got these categories. So we have one race And within that, we have the 3 categories all vying for the fastest time. Right, you can see cars back into the pits. The clock is ticking down. So it says 15.5 minutes on my timing screen. So it's a bit of a voyage of discovery here to see whether we are actually going to have a break between Q1 for Chester Kiefer, for Schumacher CLRT. In second, Ariel Levy for Team GP Elite, 143.843. Those are the only 2 drivers that are in the 143s. Then it is Flint Schuring in third place. I think we might have some more to come from him. He is in an identical car to the car that is currently quickest of all. Out of the pits comes that's Sasha Norden, Nick Ho there as well. Also great to have Sid Smith from Great Britain. Team Parker Racing back here again, the driver from Essex, who was second in the Pro-Am category in the Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain last year. He had 5 wins. A driver who was also in this series last year. His best result was a 5th place in Barcelona, but another of the real talents up and coming. Great to have Sid Smith here back in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe for this year. The time slips away very quickly. 11 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. We've got some big names still a little bit out of position. So Dirk Schutten still down in 12th place at the moment. Sasha Norden in 4th place. Now Sasha has been very quick in all the testing sessions. So yesterday during testing, Sasha Norden was quickest in 4 of those sessions. Ariel Levy was quickest in 3 of them, and Flint Schuring was quickest in 1 of them. So those are potentially the 3 drivers that are setting the pace. Keep an eye on that number 5 car, by the way. Domas Radonis, and indeed the 17 car in the new livery for 2025. How good does that look? But Domas Radonis and indeed Draker Janssen, both drivers who were really spectacular in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux last year. They are 2 young drivers, both of whom are very much on the ascendancy, especially Draker Janssen. We saw him at the Red Bull Ring in the pouring rain last year in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux. Some astonishing drives, 2 astonishing drives through the field. Very, very spectacular. But he has today picked up a warning, and that is for exceeding track limits on turn 15. Also, Chester Kiefer, our current fastest driver. They've got warnings that have been issued by our race directors. Now, they need to keep an eye on that because I think it's 3 warnings and they will pick up a penalty. They will certainly lose a lap time if they exceed track limits as well. So, track limits are everything here. We've had an awful lot of them, and the drivers must keep it between the white lines. There is Draker Janssen on the right-hand side of your picture. He was in an all-gold car last year. He's in an all-white car this year. Just sailing past him was the number 18 car, and that is Rodrigo Almeida. Great to have Rodrigo here. The driver from Mozambique has switched to Porsche. We did see him a couple of years ago in ADAC GT for Germany. I believe he was driving a Mercedes at the time. So this is something very, very different. Right, a driver we haven't mentioned yet, that is Alex Ryman. Car 47, the driver who won the Pro-Am Championship last year. Another of the many rapid drivers for S1 Racing, the driver from Estonia. So he is the defending Pro-Am champion. He's not defending because he's switched up to the Pro category, but he's the reigning Pro-Am champion in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. He had 5 category wins. He finished 3rd overall in the Sport division last year. He is one to watch. He was very, very quick last year. One of those drivers who is always there or thereabouts when the results start to come in. He joins the pit lane and out onto the track. Right, that is, looks like Anthony Imperato going wide, a little bit of rallycross. He rejoins the Ombra Racing Porsche. Well, it looks as though it's intact. I think there's a splitter still intact. That is very important because if drivers lose the splitter on these cars, it really is very much game over. You lose seconds of lap time if you lose the splitter. There is car 95, Josh Stanton from Great Britain. Great to welcome Josh back again. He's for Proton Hubert Competition, the legendary team with a great driver in the Pro category. He was the 2022 Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain AM champion, and he is very much a welcome addition to the grid here in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. There is Alex Ryman generating heat into the tyres and into the brakes. 7 3/4 minutes remaining of this, the opening qualifying session of the 2025 season, qualifying for rounds 1 and rounds 2 of this weekend. 2 races coming from the sport division and 2 races coming from the club division, and the club qualifying will come up in just a bit. You can see on your graphic still Chester Kiefer, 143.833. That is the benchmark. Second in the rookies, Matthias Ferreira in 7th place overall, and third is the 919 of Jelter Hoofner. Great to have him here, and he said that his plans will, how he does here this weekend will determine his plans for the summer. So he is third in the rookies. The quickest of our Pro-Am drivers is still Henry Tuamala. He is in 17th overall, and Ziad Giris is second in the Pro-Ams. Third in the Pro-Ams is Anthony Imperato after that little excursion through the gravel. You just saw there Maze Muller in the number 67, the PG Motorsport car, another of the rookie drivers, of which there are many in this race. So Ariel Levy back out on track, looking to make a big push for that pole position. Still, Chester Kiefer is quickest of anybody, and he's just set a purple in sector 1. So the track is divided into 3 sectors. They are pretty even. Sector 3 marginally longer. Sector 1 starts at the start-finish line. Sector 2 starts between turns 4 and 5, and Sector 3 starts between turns 11 and 12. And in each of those sectors, the drivers record a time on the timing screens. If the time turns purple, it means they are the quickest of anybody. If it turns green, it means they have set a personal best. We've got a few greens, but a purple in sector 1 for Chester Kiefer. Not in sector 2 though, but he is in that pole position, still just 1/100th of a second quicker than Ariel Levy, who is still looking to improve. There is Chester Kiefer on your screen in the very pretty gold and black number 88 car. His teammate, Clint Schuring, is in 3rd place at the moment. He is about 0.2 of a second down on the pole position time, but we've still got 5 minutes remaining. Remember, there is rain incoming. Drivers very keen to get on with it, although there's a driver who has exited the car and looks to be going back. That, I believe, was Ziad Giris, who is in the pits at the moment and has looks like his session may be over. Didn't look like he was necessarily going to come back out. Of course, it takes a bit of time to get the heat into those tyres before you can do that push lap. So no purple's been set at the moment. No improvement from Chester Kiefer. There is Nick Ho. Great to have him here this year. He combines his racing with studying business administration. He was in the 2024 Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, had a couple of 8th places, started karting at 10 years old, and now in the world of Porsche Carrera Cup and Porsche Sprint racing. Very useful pilot and spectacular. Last time I saw him at Zolder, where he was getting airborne over the chicane. Fearless, I think is the word we're looking for there. Right car 12, that's is Luciano Martinez from Argentina, another of the rookie drivers preparing for Porsche Carrera Cup Italy this year. And he just got himself a bit of space out on track. And of course, it's not just grip, it's not just heat in the tyres, it's finding the space to be able to record that hot lap. You don't want traffic in front of you as we ride on board once again with Ariel Levy, still unable to improve on the 143.843, which was his best lap so far, and still trying to improve on that. His last lap was very much a build lap. It was a 154, but now he's got the hammer down 32.856 in sector 1. So that's about a tenth quicker than Chester Keeper went the last time around. So he is certainly putting the pressure on. Into sector 2 he comes. We're riding on board with Ariel at the moment. There is the car from the outside under braking. Into the corner he comes. And just making sure he picks up all the right apexes. No wild moves, certainly keeping it within the white lines up over the blind crest. And it does take an awful lot of courage to come up over the blind crest of the hill. And when you can't see what's the other side of it, it's a scary moment, I'm told. I've never tried doing it myself. Going quite wide out of the corner, he comes up over the hill once again. And it is Ariel Levy that we ride on board with as he looks to try and beat the time of a 143.833. Right, so he has been purple in sector 1, but purple in sector 2 is Flint Schuring. So Flint Schuring also starting to lay his cards on the table. Chester Keeper at the moment is out on track but not improving. Now Ariel Levy, a personal best in sector 2, a 32.782. So is this going to be a challenge for pole position? He only needed to make 100th of a second to get in front of Chester Keeper. How is he going to do in the final sector of this lap? Our eyes very much on Ariel Levy as he looks to take this pole position. We're riding on board with him now in sector 3, the closing part of the lap. Got one eye on the timing screens and one eye on the monitor. Here comes Ariel Levy. Once again, he crosses the line. What's it going to be? We wait and we hold our breaths. And I'm still waiting for the time to come in on Ariel Levy. 143.843 is what it's still showing. A bit of a delay on that. So still the 143.833 is still the quickest time at the moment for Chester Keeper. So Ariel losing a load of time in sector 3 on that lap and was unable to make that jump. He did all the hard work in sector 1 and sector 2, but was unable to improve in sector 3. So still remains in second place. Flint Schuring did not improve himself on that lap either. He's into sector 3 at the moment, but the purple in sector 1 belongs to Ariel Levy. We're seeing Thomas Cangro now in car 48 as he looks to improve on his time as well. Looking at the clock, good heavens, we've only got 8 seconds remaining. So the clock is about to strike 0. Any drivers who are already on a lap, that lap will count, but the drivers will not be able to start any new laps to get a competitive time. You can see the checkered flag is out. So it's Henry Chuamala who is the first to receive the checkered flag. He is in 13th place overall, but he is the leader of the Pro-Am driver. So Henry Chuamala, the leading Pro-Am driver, the fastest of all. It comes Nick Ho across the line as well to receive that checkered flag. Rest of the cars waiting for them to come. I see no improvements to anybody at the moment. Chester Keeper's 143.833 still stands. Ariel Levy peeling off into the pits. It looks like he's done. Flint Schuring is done. So P3 is as good as it's going to get for Flint Schuring. P2 is as good as it's going to get for Ariel Levy. But the sensation at the moment, the headline for today, Chester Keeper is the fastest car, 143.833. Looks like he is going to take that pole position. Also, the leading rookie, second in the rookies, is down in 10th place. That's Matthias Ferreira, and he has a 144.738. So the leading rookie getting on for a second quicker than second in the rookies. So that is very impressive indeed. Well, 9/10 to be precise, but very good. In all of that, Dirk Schouten popped up in P7. So a good solid drive from him. Remember, he is new to this series and I believe new to this track. Sasha Norden in P4. Keep an eye on him when the racing starts. So that's a solid drive from him. And Domas Radonis, another very solid driver in P5. good job from Rodrigo Almeida as well for FAC Autotech. Great to have FAC here this weekend as he is in P6. That's ahead of Dirk Schutz and Sid Smith for Team Parker Racing in P8 ahead of Josh Stanton, Matthias Ferrara and Nick Ho in the 11th ahead of Jelter Höfner. So lots of competitive drivers. I think all the people we expected to be towards the front very much up there. Alex Ryman a little way back in 17th place, so he was about 1.4 seconds back, but a great session. We kept it all going. We managed to avoid any rain as well. I haven't put a curse on it now. And the rest of the cars now just coming round into the pit lane. So it's been an entertaining qualifying session. And I believe those times will be for both rounds 1 and rounds 2. That'll be both of the races that are taking place. Of course, this is an 8-round championship. We have rounds 1 and 2 today here in Portimão. Then in a couple of weeks' time in Estoril, we have rounds 3 and 4. Rounds 5 and 6 are in Valencia on the 22nd of February. Then the final 2 rounds, rounds 7 and 8, take place on the 1st of March in Barcelona. That another great circuit, and 4 great circuits hosting 8 great rounds in what is becoming a great championship. Right, well, we haven't spoken to him yet. I'm going to say a very good morning to Piers Pryor. Great to have him back this year. He's down in the pit lane. Good morning, Piers. How are you doing?
Brian, I'm great. It is a winter championship, hence the gloves. It's not the warmest out here. Track temperature barely above 10 degrees, as is the air temperature. Currently stood outside the Schumacher CLRT garage, hoping to grab a word with our pole position driver when he comes in, Chester Kiefer. Great introduction to the championship from him, rookie driver on pole position. And Flint Shearing as well, the number 99, he got 3rd place. Flint's just taken his helmet off, so he might be out in a moment, so we can grab a word with him. Clearly Schumacher getting to grips with the Algarve Portimão circuit fairly quickly with 2 of their drives inside the top 3. Slight improvement for both of them actually compared to practice. They were 3rd and 4th or 3rd and 5th in practice just this morning. Bumped it up and found an extra couple of tenths, which is what put them on pole position. Just waiting for our pole position driver Chester to walk down the grid. I think that is him there. Yeah, let's wander up towards him. He's already out of the car, clearly parked up by the Parc Fermé to make sure that the car is on weight, conforming. I'm also just gonna grab. Yeah, Chester's just up here. Hopefully he can see me. Yes, here he is. I chatted with Chester yesterday, and he was looking forward to getting involved. Chester, what a start to the championship. Rookie pole position and pole position overall. 1/10,000th of a second ahead of our champion Ariel Levy. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, it's an incredible feeling for first time in the championship and the overall pole and rookie pole. It's a feeling I'll never forget, and yeah, it's quite amazing.
Your teammate Flint also got 3rd position, very close behind, so clearly the Schumacher car working well for you.
Merci.
Clearly the car Schumacher have given you is very good.
Yeah, they've given us an amazing car. Really can't say anything about it, and I'm gonna wait and see what's next in the race.
It's not going to be easy though, of course, with Ariel right alongside you. We know he's champion. What's your plan going into the race this afternoon?
My plan is to look forward, not backwards, and hopefully keep everyone behind me.
Flint, we'll look forward to that. Congratulations on your first result pole position in the championship. We'll let you go and unwind for the team, and I'm going to hand back to Brian, who's going to then introduce the club division qualifying.
Thank you so much, Piers. Great job there, and great to see and hear from Chester Kiefer, one of the many up-and-coming stars in Porsche racing, and certainly Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. This is where the talent is discovered. This is where we see the drivers first showing their true colours, and Chester great to have him as part of this series, and certainly got everybody's attention. He said it was a moment he would never forget, taking a pole position. As the track is swept, and shout out to the Orange Army. I know that the commentary is going out around the stadium here as well, and we say thank you to all of the Orange Army for the sterling job they do, keeping everything together here in what are not especially tropical conditions. They said, come to the Algarve, it'll be sunny, get a tan. No, it's gloves, hats, thermals, you name it. It's a proper chilly day, which has caught everybody out because it was glorious earlier on in the week. Anyway, we look forward from turn 5 there, and in a few moments we will get ready for the club division qualifying. I have had confirmation that that previous qualifying session, as suspected, was both qualifying sessions rolled into one. That's for both rounds, so it'll be the quickest and second quickest times of the drivers that will determine the grid for this afternoon's race. So apologies, I was unable to bring you that information at the time. Everything is very much up for change. We are chasing the dry weather here today. We want to get qualifying done and dusted before any rain comes in. So our next qualifying session will also be a 30-minute as opposed to the 15 minutes that we originally said. So the track is nice and quiet at the moment, and we are just getting ready for the cars to come out on track. So we had Sport Division just now, and Sport Division, they all featured, well, quelle surprise, Porsche. Excuse me. Try not to joke. Excuse me, Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars, based on the 992 generation, 510 brake horsepower, 4 litres of naturally aspirated, water-cooled, flat 6-box engine grunt. And that's the cars that you saw. They had 3 categories. We had the pros, the Pro-Ams, and the rookies. So now we get ready for the club division qualifying. Some of the cars are still, most of the cars are still the Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. But we also have rolled into this the GT4 category. So we have 2 categories. We have the AMs, and they are drivers aged 40 plus, and they will be driving the Porsche 911s. But we also have the GT4 class. They are running in the Porsche Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport. It is a 500 brake horsepower car with no restrictors. 4 litres of naturally aspirated water-cooled flat 6-boxer, once again mounted, of course, in the rear of the car. The Cayman has 7-speed transmission. It's no restrictors this year. Summarize that blooming quick. So 2 different kinds of cars, but obviously all Porsche. Wonderful stuff here for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, and they form the club division. So we will have the 2 categories. We will have a pole position for the AM driver, the quickest AM driver. We will have a pole position in the GT4 category as well. So the track is silent. We are now getting ready for club division qualifying. And I think a lot of drivers have been warned about it, but you give the car a load of power coming out of the pit lane in these cold conditions. The rear wheels light up, of course, the engine in the back. All the weight of these cars are very much to the back of the car. The car swaps ends, goes across the track. Fortunately, it's just on the outlap. Well, some of the cars are on the outlap. Nobody comes tearing down the pit straight at the time, so there were no cars to collide with, but certainly a sketchy moment and something we have seen before here at Portimão. Right, I was talking about testing yesterday, and I have to say that Marabi Mekbishvili was recording times that were pretty competitive with the cars in the sport division. Quickest time yesterday was a 1:44.305. Last year, our pole position time was Nicolas Salens, who had a 1:44.950. So that was the quickest time of all. We'd expect the GT4 cars to be something like about 3.2 seconds slower. But we're going to be looking at times that aren't going to be far off the sport division. There's nobody here, once again, looking to just make up the numbers as we look at Jan-Jaap van Roon. for NDM Motorsport, Dutch driver with 5 races in the 2024 Porsche Endurance Trophy, who is out here qualifying today. Great to have these drivers here. Once again, it's as you were, building up the heat into the temperature, building up the heat into the tyres and the brakes, getting the tyres into that window, and they'll take a few laps. Of course, tyre warmers are not allowed. And I'm going to remind you of something as somebody in the background kicks up a bit of dirt. It's Angelo Fontana, I think. I'm going to remind you of something I said earlier, and that is tyres are very much restricted here in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. You cannot just throw rubber at the car in the aim of getting quicker and quicker. It is 2 sets of tyres for the race and qualifying per car and no more. So a lot of strategy if you take all the life out of those tyres in this qualifying session. You're going to be left with nothing much for the race. And in the race itself, it's about tyre preservation as well, making sure you've got grip at the end of the race. The races are 30 minutes plus 1 lap each. And the tyres need to go the distance, and they need to go for the qualifying session as well. So 2 sets of tyres. There'll be very much strategy to play for. Right, Javier Ripoll Jr., I think that is, that we're riding on board with for S1 Racing. You will remember him from Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe last year. He was 3rd in the AM category. He had 2 4th places. He's a Venezuelan driver living in Miami, races Porsche on the American scene. A very welcome addition. Another welcome addition is a driver that you currently see in 10th place on your screen. And I'm going to give him a shout out because I know he has legions of fans who are shouting his name. We welcome to the grid of Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, AJITH Kumar, the 53-year-old Bollywood star. We're riding on board with him now as if on cue. Wonderful stuff for Red Ant Racing. He has many, many fans, and they're all watching, and I know they're all shouting at their screens at the moment. For all of the fans of car 28, AJITH Kumar, we say welcome along. Great to have you here. We do hope you are going to enjoy Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, and your man is out on track at the moment. Great to have him here. He's a Bollywood superstar. He's raced in the Dubai 24-hour race this year. He was 3rd in the 992 category. He's also raced in Formula 2, but that was back in 2010. He is very much a celebrity, bringing a bit of glitz and glamour. The driver from India here in Portimão, and in that silver car, currently just generating the heat into the tyres and indeed into the brakes. Great that we've got the camera on board as well. That will please the legion of fans. And we get the feeling we've got the Dirk Schuten fans and we've got the AJITH Kumar fans, and there are many of them who hang around in chat rooms watching this racing. And we're going to see who can shout now this weekend. Right, back to the timing. Evgeny Leonov, great to have car 16 here for Volcano Motorsport. 41-year-old driver, currently at the top of the timing screens, a 1:45.281. So that is the benchmark at the moment. Expect that to come tumbling down. We have just under 22 minutes remaining of this session, and we will see that time improved on, I have no doubt, at the moment. So there are just 2 classes here. Again, those are indicated by the coloured boxes next to the drivers' names. Red meaning they're in the AM category, white meaning they're in the GT4 category. At the moment, David von Rosen for Team Neuhofer in car 223 is the quickest of the GT4 cars, but it's a 1:55, so he has yet to put in a push lap. We have 3 cars that are in the GT4 category. They will be scrapping amongst themselves for pole position in the GT4 race. So at the moment, all cars are out on track. We have nearly 50 cars here for the event here this weekend, covering, of course, the sport and the club division. And all of this is part of the Porsche Pyramid. A great system and a great thing that has been set up, by Porsche. The base of the Porsche pyramid starts with Porsche's customers and motorsport driving events like their driving school and other club sports events. Next up is the One Make Series contested with the 911 GT3 Cup cars, like the Carrera Cup, Mobil 1 Super Cup, and of course the Sprint Challenges like we are watching now. And then after that, we cross over into the world of factory racing. We see the 911 RSRs and the 911 GT3s used in the World Endurance Championship. We see them in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where of course we saw Maurice Schering winning last year, and into the IMSA Sport Car Championship. And then lastly, at the top of the pyramid is the pinnacle of Porsche racing. That's where we see the hypercar, the LMP1, those awesome machines. And it is all part of the Porsche pyramid. Drivers starting off, climbing up through the ranks, and we have seen many drivers coming up through the Porsche pyramid. We've already mentioned Maurice Schering. We've got Bastian Buus, who will be in the DTM this year. We're very excited about that, and one of the mega superstars. And of course, a former DTM champion, Thomas Preining, another driver who's come through the ranks of Porsche, the Porsche pyramid. And a lot of the drivers that you are watching here this weekend and today for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe will be names that we will be talking about in years to come. And we've seen a few of them shining in the sport division and in the club division here. We will see some of the up-and-coming superstars as well, although it has to be said, the AM category tends to favour maybe the older driver, the more gentleman driver, but it's great that we've got them here out on track, and it's Evgeny Leonov who is still the quickest at 1:44.307. So that is the first benchmark time at the moment. There's Ernst Inderbitzen. Really good to have him here. He was in the AM category for the last couple of years. He was third in the AMs overall in the opening season for Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe a couple of years ago. Last year, he was in Porsche Sports Challenge Suisse and racing for FAC Autotech. There is Dominic Bastien, and I have to say hats off to Dominic Bastien. What an amazing driver. He's from America, French born. He is indeed 79 years old. It just goes to show that you are never too old to go racing, and it is great to have Dominic Bastien here for Proton Huber competition, still mixing it with the young upstarts. We're riding on board with Philip Wills for Proton Huber competition as well in the AM category. He was second last year in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. He won at Estoril, and he got a 6th and a 4th the year before at Valencia. He last year was in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Benelux. He's also guested in Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux as well. We're riding on board with him, a very, very rapid driver from Belgium in a team's car, Proton Huber competition. Of course, Christoph Huber, one of the bosses of that, and legend in his own lunchtime. Great to have Proton Huber competition. Of course, Christoph Huber merging very much with Proton Racing, and they have been a force to be reckoned with. And it was, of course, their driver, Larry Tenforder, who won the championship. In fact, they did a clean sweep. Proton Huber competition did a clean sweep of all the championships in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany last year. They won the overall, they won the Pro-Am, they won the rookie, and they won the team championship. Really formidable team. Any driver who races for Proton Huber competition is worth their weight in gold. And we already know that Philippe Wills is very quick. And that car, distinctive yellow and black livery, will be one to keep an eye on as we ride with him. He's currently in P3. He's done a couple of personal bests on the previous lap, but no improvement at the moment. It's still Evgeny Leonov who is the quickest, the only driver into the 44s. A 1:44.307. Second, Marabi Babishvili. Remember, he was quickest in testing. There's Angelo Fontana, who comes out of the pits in the Est1 racing car. Driver from Venezuela. He guested in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany last year. At the Nürburgring. He was 5th in the FIA Motorsport Games as well in the GT single make last year, and is a regular racer. There is Evgeny Leonov currently in the pits, but he is the car that is quickest at the moment. Marabi Mekbavishvili in that second, Felipe Wills in third, and then Andre Fernandez, Javier Ripoll Jr., Angelo Fontana in sixth. Just back end of the car, just sliding. I mean, may have been trying to generate heat, but I think that was perhaps a little bit too much sliding by his reckoning. But car number 80, he keeps it pointing in the right direction, so that's all good. See quite a few of the cars currently into the pits at the moment. We're at the halfway point of this qualifying session. To remind you, we have combined Quali 1 and Quali 2, and both running together, and it will be the quickest and second quickest times of each driver that will determine the grid positions for the races which take place this afternoon. At the moment is Evgeny Leonov, who is the quickest, ahead of Marabi Mekbavishvili. Still quite a few cars out on track. Still, there's about, I'd say, once again, about half the cars out on track and the other half in the pits. Weather, well, it's holding out at the moment, isn't it? We haven't seen any rain at the moment, but drivers will be very aware of that. Right, we've got a yellow flag up at turn 4, so looks like somebody may have had a moment up at turn 4. Haven't seen what that is. So just looking here, and with less than 15 minutes remaining, the track has gone green again. So we had somebody having a bit of moment. There is Eric Wagner, and he is in the Enrico Fulgenzio racing car. So Eric Wagner back on his way. 14 minutes remaining of this, the qualifying session, the only qualifying session for the club division. There is Dominic Bastian in car 45. Currently, now where is he on time screens? In P16. So somewhere mid-order, which is pretty good going. On board with Javier Ripoll Jr., car 91 for Est1 Racing once again. Looking at the timing screens, nobody setting the screens alight at the moment, but we have plenty of time to go. And of course, the track, in theory, as long as it doesn't rain, will get quicker and quicker as this event goes on, as more and more rubber is laid down. And if the temperature rises as well, then cars are able to go quicker and quicker time. So a lot of drivers want to be quite late in the session for their main push lap, with the best rubber on the car to stand the best opportunity of qualifying near the front. Only one car, though, in the 44s at the moment. 144.307, some 9.5 tenths back, is Marabi Mekbavishvili in second place. A pretty dominant performance from Evgeny Leonov at the moment, but there is still plenty to play for, with 12 3/4 minutes remaining of this session as Lee Mole comes out of the pit lane. Another driver from Great Britain for Team Parker Racing. Made his Porsche debut last year, and he won the Porsche Carrera Cup Great Britain AM Championship with 11 wins. So we know that he is a rapid driver. So Lee Mole, who comes out of the pits in the number 56 car, currently in 8th place in the timing screens of 146.609. And clearly feels as though he has got more that he can do to improve on that. A personal best in sector 1 for Marabi Mekbavishvili on the last lap, but doesn't look like he's doing anything at the moment to challenge what is turning out to be a fairly dominant fastest time from Evgeny Leonov. In the number 16 car, Marabi Mekbavishvili in P2 ahead of Philip Wills in P3. Our quickest GT4 car is Patrick Cunha, and great to have him here in the treble 8 car. Veloso Motorsport, Portuguese driver, a lot of experience in GT racing and also in TCR racing. And in 2017, he was third in TCR Iberico and TCR Portugal, and a very useful pilot, putting a lot of his experience to good use here. And he is the quickest of the GT4 cars. Second in the GT4 is David von Rosen, with Kaspar Hockeboom in car number 8, who is third in the GT4s. Still, with Javier Ripoll Jr., currently in 5th place. He is a 145.978, his best time so far. And he is back out there generating heat once again. So with a little over 10 minutes remaining of this session, expecting the track to get very busy once again. We've had a few track warning limits, one for 151 David Harrison for FAC Autotech. Great to have David Harrison here. He's been racing in the British Endurance Championship last year. He's been coached by the legendary Dino Zamparelli of Race Drive, and great to have Dino Zamparelli in coaching duties. So another real talent who is coaching David Harrison in the 151 car. But he's had a track warning, a track limit warning in the last few minutes. Also, David Von Rosen has had a warning for track limits on turn 15. So keeping it between the white lines is very important. There is Patrick Kuhnhauer. We spoke about him just now, the quickest of the GT4 cars in the Porsche Cayman. Mixing it amongst these Porsche 911s. So another warning for 223, this time on turn 15 once again. So a couple of warnings there. So I think that David Von Rosen very much under scrutiny from the stewards, and keep picking up those warnings. There's going to be penalties incoming. You're going to get laps cancelled, and that is going to ruin your day. So looking at the GT4 fastest car at the moment, rest of the cars out on track. We've got 6 cars currently in the pits, everybody else out on track at the moment. As we look at car treble 8 looking to improve, he's well clear of his other GT4 competitors at 149.383 the last time around. Still only one car in the 44s, and by some distance. Still Evgeny Leonov at the top of the timing screens. 9 minutes remaining, so if anybody's going to do anything about it, it's going to have to be pretty soon, because time is starting to tick by. A personal best for Javier Ripoll Jr., but still in P5 at the moment. So cars out there now. There is Javier, but he's caught up with a bit of traffic. So car 91 behind Philip Wills. It's Joe Warhurst there. That's a great driver to have out on the coaching duties. We've seen him in ADAC GT4 Germany. He's there coaching Dominic Bastian, and there's some wisdom probably going in both directions there, I should think. But we're hoping to see Joe Warhurst racing in Porsches a bit more in 2025, and that would be very exciting if that were to happen. Car 91 just making a bit of space. Javier Ripoll Jr. to let the GT4 car of Patrick Kuhnhauer come through, but still drivers not really much happening in the way of improvement. All the driver coaches getting involved, and we've got a lot of good drivers here as coaches. I've seen that Alex Fack is here coaching this weekend. That's Alex Fack Jr., who is a legendary driver in his own right. He's been racing at GT Masters this year. We have the one and only Larry Tenforder. He's here coaching drivers in the sport division. He's coaching Sasha Norden and Flint Schuring this weekend. And boys, there's some wisdom imparted from the most successful driver in Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany history. So a lot of drivers here on coaching duties as well. And we've already mentioned Dino Zamparelli, who's here coaching David Harrison for FAC Autotech. So just see Javier Ripoll Jr. just finding himself a bit of space. 7 minutes remaining now on board with him. There's some greens popping up now, some personal bests. So Angelo Fontana, he has set a personal best in Sector 2. Nothing anywhere near a purple time yet. Murabi Mekbishvili has improved on Sector 2 as well. 33.327 in Sector 2. So that's a personal best for him. But will it be enough to close that monstrous 9/10 of a second between first and second? There is Joe Warhurst once again, and his driver now exiting the car. So it looks as though, oh dear, a shake of the head as well from Dominic Bastian. And certainly the most senior driver in the field, but showing that he is very useful indeed. And it looks like his day is potentially, or his qualifying session, shall I say, is potentially over. So he returns to the garage. He's currently in 16th place in the timing screens. Javier Ripoll Jr. once again with Angelo Fontana just behind him. Gaspar Hockeboom, should I say, in car number 8, another of the GT4 cars. He is currently in 3rd in the GT4 category and in 23rd overall. So a bit of work to do from there as once again we ride on board the Javier Ripoll Jr. You can see those blind crests once again. It takes an